Once upon a time, high atop a tranquil hill surrounded by lush greenery, there lived a humble Buddhist monk named Tenzin. His little house was simple, yet it resonated with the calming presence of meditation and the fragrance of blooming wildflowers. Tenzin was a farmer, cultivating the land that sprawled out before him like a vast green carpet. In this serene isolation, he found solace in the cycle of life, the planting, nurturing, and harvesting of crops being a spiritual practice that grounded him. His field was filled with vibrant cabbages, their leafy heads gleaming under the sun. Tenzin tended to them diligently, watering them with care, whispering words of gratitude as he stooped to inspect their growth. Every day, he was filled with joy watching them blossom, taking delight in the fruits of his labor. However, this harmony was soon disturbed by a perplexing issue. One morning, as the sun broke over the horizon, casting soft rays of light upon his farm, Tenzin approached his field only to discover something amiss. To his dismay, he found that several cabbages had vanished. "Oh no, somebody stole my cabbages," he exclaimed, a hint of worry creasing his brow. With a heavy heart, he searched for any sign of the thief, but there was nothing. Pushing his disquiet aside, he spent the day tending to the remaining cabbages, trying to focus on his responsibilities. The following day brought more distress. Once again, several cabbages were missing. "Why does this keep happening?" he lamented, disappointment and frustration creeping into his thoughts. Each day brought with it the same finding: cabbages stolen and frustration growing. Tenzin's peaceful existence seemed to be teetering on the edge of despair. As the days turned into weeks, Tenzin's sense of loss morphed into a consuming obsession. He couldn't help but ponder who would steal his cabbages and for what purpose. Thoughts of anger and revenge began weaving through his mind, threatening to obscure the peacefulness he had always cultivated. Should I set a trap? He contemplated one day as he sat beneath a tree, pondering his next move. Perhaps I should confront this thief. The idea of vengeance tugged at him, but deep down, Tenzin felt a flicker of something else, a wise voice arising amidst his turmoil, gently nudging him toward a different course of action. One evening, as the twilight settled around him, he decided to take a different approach. Instead of harboring resentment, he would respond to the theft with kindness. He gathered his thoughts and acknowledged that it was possible someone was in need, and taking from his garden out of desperation. With a sense of resolve, he set aside his urges for retribution. "Tomorrow," he decided, "I shall leave out some cabbages for the thief." As dawn broke, Tenzin placed a few of the ripest cabbages at the edge of his field, careful to arrange them in a way that felt welcoming. He sat back beneath the boughs of the tree, dreaming the morning away, thoughts of serenity flooding back into his mind. Hours passed, and while he meditated, serenity enveloped him. The sun traveled across the sky, casting shadows that danced around him, yet he maintained his focus on the present moment, feeling the warmth of the earth beneath him and the gentle breeze whispering through the leaves. Soon into his meditation, he heard rustling before him. Curious and cautious, he opened his eyes. Standing there was a ragged figure, a man with sunken cheeks and weary eyes. The man hesitated, but, seeing the cabbages waiting, he knelt down to collect them. Tenzin observed, his heart swelling with compassion. Instead of confronting the man, he decided to speak. "You seem to be in need," Tenzin said softly, his voice carrying the warmth of understanding. "If you require food, please take as much as you need." The man looked up, surprise etched on his face. I didn't expect this," he stammered, unsure of how to react. "I'm sorry for taking from you. I have fallen on hard times, and the hunger has driven me to desperation." Tenzin recognized the depths of suffering and, without hesitation, responded, "I understand the plight of hunger. Please, take what you need, and when you are able, return the kindness." Tears filled the man's eyes as he collected the cabbages, a sense of relief washing over him. "Thank you," he murmured, a profound sense of gratitude filling the air between them. Tenzin nodded, feeling at peace with the decision he had made. In that moment, he felt a connection, realizing that both he and the man before him were bound by the fundamental experiences of existence: struggle, suffering, and the desperate need for compassion. Days passed, and with each morning came the same ritual. The man returned, bringing tales of hardship, and each time, taking only what he needed. Gradually, Tenzin learned about his struggles and, in turn, shared stories of his own simplicity and fulfillment found within the meditative practice of farming. He discovered that the man's name was Kiran, and he was a once proud farmer who had faced a series of unfortunate events which led him to this current state. As the days turned into weeks, a remarkable change occurred. No longer was the field merely a source of frustration for Tenzin. It became a haven of connection and mutual support. Kiran, motivated by the monk's kindness, began to help Tenzin in his field. Together, they worked during the day, planting new crops and nurturing the existing ones. As they spent time together, both men grew spiritually and emotionally, understanding the deeper wisdom of existence, the interdependence of life, the beauty of kindness, and the light of compassion. Months passed, and as seasons changed, the lush field flourished under Tenzin and Kiran's care. The harvest was bountiful, and with the abundance came the spirit of sharing. They decided together to host a market day where they could share the fruits of their labor with the nearby village. That day, colorful stalls lined the village square, filled with fresh produce and joyous laughter. The sense of community reignited as people from all walks of life gathered, sharing recipes, laughter, and stories. As they celebrated, Tenzin realized something vital. The cabbages were never just about sustenance, he mused, his heart swelling with warmth. Through the act of sharing, we have created a community, a bond that transcends loss. In that moment of realization, it struck him. His journey through anger and frustration had transformed into a greater path of understanding and compassion, leading him to a place of reciprocal kindness which enveloped not just him and Kiran, but the entire village. The true lesson emerged powerfully. Sometimes what we perceive as loss brings forth the greatest gifts of life: connection, community, and shared purpose. Tenzin smiled, recognizing that the path to enlightenment lay not in what we possess, but how we respond to the world's circumstances. In closing, let us reflect on the story of Tenzin and Kiran. Their journey teaches us that our reactions to life's challenges can shape not only our own experiences, but also those of others. Embrace the struggle and transform it into an opportunity for growth, connection, and compassion. No matter how bleak a situation might seem, there is always the potential for kindness and mutual support. Through understanding this, we can all strive toward enlightenment and wisdom, becoming beacons of light in each other's lives. Remember, every hardship carries within it the seed of transformation. Nurture it and let it bloom into a garden of shared joy and fulfillment.